What was the most embarrassing thing that has ever happened to you? When I was 15, I was a typical kid who rubbed one out frequently. Nothing unusual. We did not have fancy electronics, but what we did have was one of those huge, old desktop PCs that stood pride of place in our living room. My whole family had gone out. My sisters were out doing separate things with their friends and my parents were at some charity dinner thing. It was just me, all alone with the house to myself for a couple of hours. So, naturally, I did the usual, played music loud, recreated the scene from Risky Business, ordered food and played Halo on Xbox. Finally came the time that I began to really enjoy myself. I pulled up the usual go-to websites, but tonight something wasn't right. Nothing was really doing it for me. So, I traveled through video after video, image after image, but in vain, until I clicked a link that took me to an unknown, exterior site. I finally found an appropriate video, and as I clicked around to try and get the video playing, something popped up. The pop-up ad wasn't your normal corn ad with someone who's 3 miles away needs it. This was different. When the ad loaded, I crapped myself. The pop-up had an image of a terror group on the main banner and a stern warning that said something along the lines of, "We have been filming what you've been doing. We will release the footage unless you pay us this amount of money." Now, you're probably thinking, why didn't you just close it down and get back to business? These tricky little scamming people make it harder than that. It didn't have a normal close button like all other web pages. It was stuck on my screen. I frantically tried everything I could to get it off to no avail. Then I had a brainwave. If I powered down the PC then boot it back up, it might go away. I proceeded to turn off the PC, unplug it and then turn it back on. It took a while to boot up. This felt like a lifetime because my dignity was on the line. I couldn't let my parents found out I was watching this stuff, let alone that I was being extorted by terror groups for it. It finally booted back up and all seemed normal until I went to my browser. As soon as I double-clicked, bam, it was there again, staring at me, judging me. Knew I was in deep trouble. I was either going to be exposed online rubbing one out, or my parents were going to find out that I was rubbing one out. After some time thinking, I collected myself and decided to power it down and come clean to my parents. That was better than people seeing me do it for sure. I waited for what seemed like hours for my parents to get back. As soon as I heard them arrive, I broke down crying and apologized to them over and over for what I had done. I explained everything. It all came out. The corn, the terror group, the ransom, the virus-ridden PC. Thankfully, they were pretty chill about it. They booted the PC back up, which seemed to take even longer than before. My heart was pounding as I waited for them to see the full range of my shame. Finally, the familiar green hills and sky blue background filled the screen. Dad opened the browser, double-clicked and, as I held my breath, Google popped up. No groups, no extortion, no corn, just normal Google homepage. My parents both looked at me and burst out laughing. I stood there not knowing what the hell to do. I had come clean about everything and nothing was there to back me up.